Good afternoon and welcome to Social Media for Medical Practices. This webinar is being brought to you by Rater8. I am Heidi Lechner, the Senior Marketing Manager with Rater8. We are a top healthcare reputation management company and have worked with many of you and hope to work with the rest of you at some point. We are super excited to talk to you today about social media. I've been in marketing for 18 years and have seen social media grow leaps and bounds and consider it one of the most useful tools for any practice out there. So, wow, social media, crazy. We have seen growth like you would not believe since 2008. 79% of people have a social media profile. That is most people. So it is really not only growing, but will continue to grow. And since 2011, it's grown 50%. So with that trajectory, we can see quite a bit of growth coming in the future. With that said, social media is affecting the way people look for doctors and the way doctors are communicating with their patients. 41% of patients said social media would affect their choices for a healthcare provider. And 60% of doctors say social media improves the quality of care they're delivering to patients. That's pretty significant and is really great feedback on how we can use it. Social media platforms are many. These are some of the platforms that are out there now, most of them, and the percentage of people that use them. For today's webinar, we're really going to focus on four major platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. But certainly there's a lot of other platforms that people are using out there. But these are the ones we recommend and the ones we're going to be targeting in this presentation. So why social media? That's the question. Patient acquisition. This is a way to grow your practice and a way to retain your patients, have a communication with them that's out in the social media platform that they can connect with you in another way. Brand awareness. You hear the word brand. What is brand? We hear a lot about that word. It's really the persona and above all, it's a way for you to humanize your practice in social media. So brand in social media is really about having a face and a presence that reflects who you are as a practice. Authority and credibility. Be a thought leader and a resource. Super important, especially on platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter that we'll talk about. It's really a great venue to establish yourself as a thought leader. So, important guidelines. Picking the right channel. One of the most important things to remember when it comes to using social media is that you want to utilize the right channels. My recommendation is to start with one or two. I think Facebook and LinkedIn are certainly a good place to start if you don't already have those platforms working for you at this time. And, there's always room for improvement and growth, but it's really important to identify your goals. So is it patient acquisition? Is it having better communication with your patients? Is it creating interaction? All those things are really important, growing your followers, and to be clear on those goals before you really set forth a plan and have those in mind as you move forward using the platforms. Being consistent with your brand voice, whatever's on your website and whatever you're using to communicate with your patients in office, you want your social media to really be consistent with those branding choices you're making for your practice. And the messaging needs to be consistent. So if you're doing certain types of posts, you want to continue to do those things. People begin to expect that, and it's good to really show up for them. setting realistic expectations, it can be overwhelming. You might think, oh, do we have to man this every day, all day? You want to really get a realistic idea of how much time you can put into this. If you have someone in your office that's going to be managing your social media, to know what the posting schedule would look like, use tools that can really help you to make it more efficient. Maintain professionalism. That means definitely not giving medical advice. Certainly, although social media is a great platform for personal interaction, not it's maybe have it be too personal, but keep that demeanor of professionalism. Important to be aware of HIPAA violations, not to share patient information, and other regulations. Whoever's in your office that's handling your social media really needs to be aware and educated on those HIPAA regulations. And I wouldn't have anyone working on your social media that doesn't know that, and that it's very clear what those guidelines are. So here are the platforms we'll be looking at today. I've chosen these 4 because they're really the big players in social media. Facebook is an incredible place for brand awareness, and it is the largest platform for reaching your audience. And most people do have a Facebook account, so it's a great place to start if you haven't already. Twitter, great platform for medical communication and having your doctors really be active. LinkedIn Professional Network, and Instagram, similar to Facebook, but very visual medium and a much more personable medium. So Facebook, everyone has a Facebook page pretty much. 46% of people over the age of 65 have a Facebook page. So your audience is very broad. But what's nice about Facebook is you can really target your patients in a very effective manner. I suggest posting 2 times a week if you can, more if possible, and to use the tool of hashtags, which we'll talk about later. You can use with Facebook. It's not necessary all the time, but it's something you can utilize. So I'm going to show you a Facebook profile page that I really like. This is Manhattan Orthopedic Care. Great cover photo here. You can see they have a nice logo. All of their about information is up to date. Their links, their address, their website. Also, one thing about Facebook that is unique to Facebook is that it is a place where people can leave reviews. No other platform allows you to do that. So this is really, really pivotal in your strategy for social media. So basically for posting, I would recommend things like a patient story. You can certainly have a book an appointment type of post. You can share YouTube videos, you can share blogs. You want to keep it personal about you. You can certainly post things about activities in your office, community engagement, anything like that. But it's really the best all-around platform for patient engagement. And next we're going to look at Instagram. Again, it's a younger audience. 15% of Instagram users are between the ages of 35 and 44. It's generally you use this medium in a visual way. So photos, videos, things that showcase your medical practice, your doctors, your staff, and really trying to tell a story. Instagram's a great storytelling platform. So I definitely recommend using that venue for sharing visual information, and I'm going to show you a sample of that. So this is Dr. Hopkins Dermatology Instagram profile. As you can see, she has a really clear picture. What's great is these posts, there's before and after here. So you can see it's a great way to show before and after and a patient's story. The staff, being inside the office, seeing with the staff who they are and getting to know them. And then you can also post testimonials, which is another great way to use Instagram. So, again, Instagram, your profile really should have all your up-to-date information, but just also keep in mind that Instagram is a platform that you want to make sure that you recognize that you can only have links in your bio to your website. So you can't post anything inside an Instagram link that is live. And a great insight into Facebook and Instagram is retargeting. It's basically where you can create an ad that will pop up when someone visits your website and when customers visit your page or engage with one of your posts in your social media platform. It's a real low-hanging fruit. It's inexpensive. And basically anyone who visits your site and doesn't take an action will then get an ad in their feed on social media, reminding them to engage or whatever that ad, whatever you want to focus on that ad. So for example, if you're going to a website where you're shopping for something and you notice in your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed an ad from that company, that's how retargeting works. I really recommend it, and we've used it here at Retargeting, and it's a great tool. So Twitter, Twitter's used more and more by individual doctors, and it's really for the medical community and current patients, but it's not so much a medium for a practice as much as it is for doctors in your practice. It's a short and sweet, 280 characters available, not a lot of space. You can certainly share images, you can certainly share videos, but it's not really a long form medium. And so here's a sample of Dr. Verma's Twitter page. Again, I would recommend perhaps a doctor in your practice who's very tech savvy and social media savvy, may even have a Twitter account and is active on Twitter, to really utilize this medium. It's a great way to connect with other professionals in the medical community, share information, publications. Again, this is a great way to grow and to reach out and cross, have cross communications with other people in other specialties. And so again, I think this is really a platform for a doctor in your practice. LinkedIn, target audience is professional community. Definitely a recruitment platform. So if you're having issues with recruiting, it's, the times have been difficult for that for many organizations. This is a great platform to advertise job postings. It's free, and it's also a great way to expand your professional network. I also see that, a lot of people that use LinkedIn join groups. There's ways that you could reach out to the medical community and your specialty and other specialties, lots of groups and things you can join. So here's a sample of Peachtree Orthopedics. Now, importantly, in your about, you want to have 250 to 2,000 characters in here. Again, this is important. People do read it. It is keyword sensitive, so you want to have your specialty or any other pertinent information in this about section. And then here's a place where you can post jobs. It's easy, people can respond to it, and it really makes your job easier, especially for your team if you're looking to recruit. So some tips to grow your audience. These are just some good tips from day one. One is to have a QR code, which is basically, you've seen them, they're just those square codes people can scan, where you could have something at the front of your office where people can scan it, it would go right into their phone, they can go right to your social media page and like it, and you can gain followers that way really effectively. I mean, all of the patients going in and out of your practice every day is really an untapped resource for growing your social media audience. And you might put an incentive, say you do a giveaway or something that would give an incentive for people to follow you. Also, your staff is a great way to grow your social media presence. Do some type of incentive, and perhaps you have a luncheon at the end of the month for everyone who added 10 new followers, or however you'd want to work that. But getting your staff involved is really important. Having everyone on the same team, it's imperative to really have everyone on the same page when you're doing social media, especially when it comes to sharing information. The other thing is to engage with others' content. So if you like, follow, and share information in your industry, other people's specialties, other doctors' information, the more you like, follow, and engage, the more they'll like, follow, and engage with your content. And that's the whole idea. The way to spread the news is to share, 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 and then like people share your information. So these are some recommended tools for social media. Some of this, will make your life so much easier. One thing that might be daunting is design. You go, well, how do I design, posts? How do I know the right size? What should it look like? So this tool, Canva, is a free tool, and it is really easy to use. It's free for the beginning use. You can have a more advanced usage if you want to, but it is free to use. So here in Canva, if you want to create a design, you have the sizes set. You can do an Instagram post, a Twitter post, a Facebook post, LinkedIn. It has headers, banner sizes, which are all things you're going to need for your social media posts. And this is a sample of one of ours, and you can see they do have templates available, but this is very easy to design. If you have a graphic designer, great. If you don't, this is very user friendly. Definitely recommend it. Scheduling. So, scheduling on social media is, if you have to do it manually, it can be very, very challenging, because you certainly can't watch it every day and post as needed. You really need a scheduling tool. So I recommend Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a scheduler that is about $30 a month, depending on the level with which you have an account. You can post up to a week ahead, a month ahead. What's nice about this particular scheduling software is you can go on and you can choose your social media, whichever one you want to use. You can do multiple, you can do one. Here you have an area for text. You also can add any media. They also have a great media library. So if you want to use stock photos, there's a lot. There's also GIFs if you want to have fun. Lots of things you can do in here. Here's the place where you can schedule, and real easy to use. Hashtags. Hashtags are in all the platforms. So especially Instagram and Twitter, hashtags are an important way for people for you to be in feeds where things are focused on and generated. So for example, this website, all hashtag, you would insert a word and you'd hit generate, and then it produces quite a plethora of hashtags. So you can use some of them, all of them. I would say on Instagram, you can use more. LinkedIn, 3 to 5, Facebook, 2 to 3. And with Twitter, probably 3 to 5 as well. You always can do a little more, but you don't want it to dominate, because you want people to focus on the content. And then testimonials. Now, like we said, on Facebook is where you can have your reviews, and certainly as important as anything else is the feedback from your patients and the reviews they give. Raterate, we can populate your social feed with the best testimonial grade reviews from your patients. And we make it easy for you so you don't have to do the work. And we are going to offer to all of you to try our social media piece for free for 3 months. So if you're interested, please let us know, and we would be happy to set that up for you. So here's some content ideas that when you think about posting, you think about what you want to put out there. These are some ideas that I think will be helpful for you. Great thing is new doctor introduction. You have a new doctor join your practice. You might have someone leaving the practice. These are all things that are great to use in your posting and what you share on social. Employee awards and accolades and stories. How often are you appreciating your team and letting people know that they matter and that they shine in your practice, and you want to communicate that on social media and share that with people? It not only makes your staff feel great, but it also is wonderful for your patients to know about, and it gives a window into your office. Patient stories and testimonials, again, with knowing HIPAA, regulations and not giving away patient information that isn't agreed upon. It's a great thing to share stories. If patients are willing to give your testimonials and share stories, it's a real personal and an effective way to share what your patients are experiencing in your practice. Images of your team and faculty, awesome, like we saw in some of those Instagram posts. Community engagement. I'm sure you're all involved with lots of sponsored events in your community, nonprofit organizations, 4Ks, 5Ks, or whatever else is going on in your community. Let people know about that, especially because on a Facebook platform, people can get involved in those things. You can help support those things through your social media efforts. Health news and updates, including new procedures, anything new in the industry. Before and after testimonials. So again, like in the dermatology, Instagram showing before and after results is a powerful way to communicate what you're doing. You may even have someone before and after surgery, or you can get as specific as a procedural process before and after. Polls, surveys, and giveaways. Those are fun, especially on platforms like Facebook. Creating a poll, a survey, a question, an answer type of interaction, getting people to really engage is really important. By the way, I just want to say we are going to be kind of coming to a close here, but if you have any questions or comments, please put it in the chat, and we will address that as we're coming down to the end of our presentation today. Don't hesitate, and we will address those. Thanks. So some takeaways for today. Facebook and Instagram retargeting, again, something that is a low-hanging fruit. It's something to take advantage of if you're not doing that already. We're going to be also providing you with a takeaway sheet, a cheat sheet from today's webinar that will give you links and information on all of these recommendations so that you can utilize those. Look up your top 3 competitors on social. So other practices, see what they're doing, look at their profile, look at their Facebook, look at their LinkedIn, follow them, see what they're up to. It's great a way to mirror some of those things that they're doing and do similar things in the way that you're presenting your social media. Recycling content is actually a great way to not feel like you have to make up original content every time you post. If there's something that you saw, say one of your doctors saw on Twitter, that they can repost. If you see things on LinkedIn that are of interest, you can repost. You can also use blogs, and anything that you're doing on your website, you can recycle and reuse for social. really important that you have a complete profile, that you fill out all of the sections of each profile. They're consistent. We're sending you some guidelines for that you can look at in terms of how many words and, you know, what things you need in each profile. Pictures and image is super important. So to have a great cover photo and have a great logo and or picture of one of your doctors is really important. And just to backtrack a little with LinkedIn, it's really important that your doctors and members of your practice have strong LinkedIn profiles as well, and that they're connected to your page, so that whatever's going on is shared and it can be expanded upon and grow. The HIPAA standards, very important. Again, a reminder that you need to be aware of those, make sure your staff is educated on that, and you don't have anyone doing it that isn't aware of all of that. The tools that I shared with you today, great ways to make your life easier, both on design and posting and all of the other ways that we can help with Retargeting and reviews. So anyway, I'm now coming toward the end of our presentation. It has been wonderful being able to share this information with you. I hope it is helpful. Right now, I'm going to open the question and answers. Yes. So should we respond to questions and comments? Yes, as often as you can. And that's a great question. You want to respond timely within 24 hours for sure, but sooner if possible. And I would have someone on it so that you check your social media profile daily. You can also get notifications for that as well. In terms of who should manage it, I would say you can have someone who is in your front office manage it. I would identify someone who's really social media savvy. It might help, so that you don't have to train someone on it. And I don't know that you would necessarily need a full-time person. I think, again, that's a part-time person. Another question was, social media is important, but the doctors don't want to spend time on it. Well, yeah. You can make it, you certainly want to have a strong practice presence. I think if you can show how the engagement is growing, how patients are asking questions, I think that would probably entice your doctors more to participate. And it certainly give them more food for thought on participating in social. Retargeting ads do cost money, but it is very affordable. It is a very inexpensive way to advertise. We are sending a link for that, so you can explore that more for yourself. But it's definitely something that's doable for practices. And what's an appropriate budget for social? That's really up to you. I don't really have a percentage of how much you should spend. I think most of these tools are free, and that's really time consuming more than money consuming. So I would say you want to give it time, do the things that don't cost money. And again, if you're using someone in your practice, they should definitely be the person who handles all of it. So I hope that answered your questions. Let me see if I have any other. Yes. So all the other thing we didn't cover today is all social media tools have analytics and insights. And also what's great, Hootsuite and a lot of these other platforms you use have insights too. But if you want to look at analytics and how the responses are to people clicking in and liking and following your page, all of these platforms have easy to use analytics. So anyway, that's all for today. We will be following up with you with a PDF link to a cheat sheet, help takeaway sheet that will assist you in your social media efforts. And again, we at Retargeting love having you as a customer and want to continue to support you in any way we can. Have a great time out there with social media. And hopefully we'll see you again. We'll be doing a lot more webinars down the pike and would love to see you again. Thank you so much.